Unfortunately, America is $36 trillion in debt. That's right, $36 trillion. And if you want to put that in perspective, if you take every single American and you line them up, it would be $107,000 per American. Now that doesn't include personal debt that people have. That's just government debt on every single person in the United States of America. So what does Trump decide to do? He's decided that the rest of the world is going to pay their fair share. Why? Because we've been taking care of the rest of the world for a long time. Now, to understand this, you have to go back all the way to 1971. In 1971, Nixon, to keep America from going into another Great Depression, took the dollar off the gold standard, and he made the dollar what's called a fiat currency. And fiat literally is just a fancy word to mean let it be. In other words, it's not backed by anything. It's backed by bonds, but bonds is nothing but paper. And he started this thing called quantitative easing. And what quantitative easing is, it just means that they print more money and print more money and print more money and print more money. It's like taking one credit card and paying off another credit card and then paying off another credit card and then paying off another credit card. Well, at the end of the day, all you're doing is just maxing out credit cards, right? And that causes inflation. And the only way you pay off this inflationary note that we have right now is to raise the rates. Well, as you seen last week, the Fed's decided that, no, we're not going to raise the rates. Well, if you don't raise the rates, then you don't pay off the national debt. And if you have all this debt, then you have to do something. If not, we're just kicking the can down the road to our grandchildren, right? Because it took all the way from George Washington to Jimmy Carter, who just passed away. It took all the way from George Washington to Jimmy Carter for us to get $1 trillion in debt. And from Jimmy Carter to now, we've increased that by $35 trillion more. And the rest of the world has taken advantage of the United States. So what Donald Trump has decided to do is impose tariffs. Now, the problem is it's a little bit too late to do that. So there's probably going to be some kind of deal worked out. And it's not Donald Trump's fault, no more than it's Joe Biden's fault. It's not a Republican and Democrat thing. Basically, it's just both sides of the aisle who have really just robbed the American people for years. Not to mention what Bill Clinton did when he did NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, when he took all our jobs and he put all our jobs in Mexico, right? And at the time, it sounded like a great idea. We can put all our jobs in Mexico and we can produce goods and services a lot cheaper. Well, the problem is that kind of happened in the beginning, but then also it took jobs away from working Americans. And as the population increased, what happened was we didn't have enough jobs here. And then Mexico came back and they said, I tell you what, if you want your goods and your services, what we're going to do now, instead of making them cheaper because you change presidents every 4 years, is we're going to start charging you more for these goods and services. And they did, and they did, and they did. And now we're really paying for those goods and services. And we have less jobs. And the population of the United States has increased. So we're going to see a rough few days, probably maybe a rough couple of months. And if you had your money in crypto yesterday, on average, you lost about 40% of your money, unless you had it in H-bar, and you lost about 58% of your money. In other words, if you had $100,000 in crypto yesterday, and you had a Coinbase, you started seeing it go ding, 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 all the way down to about $60,000, unless you took your money out before it started plummeting, which a lot of people did because they got scared. That's exactly right. And some people are right now buying the dip, and we hope that they do buy the dip, because if people buy the dip, then what's going to happen is that money's going to increase just a little bit. What we saw, about $600 billion disappear in crypto yesterday. And the Dow futures, by the way, are opening today 650 points down. So for those who didn't like my post yesterday, well, there you go. There's your market crash right there. Now, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to have Canada who's going to come out and say, you impose tariffs on us, we'll impose tariffs on you. You're going to have Mexico come out and say, if you impose tariffs on us, we're going to impose tariffs on you. And God forbid, what's going to happen with China? That's going to be the kicker, because China's not come out and said anything yet, but they will. They have to. They really, really have to. And this has to take place. If not, we're going to be in more debt and more debt and more debt. And eventually we will crash. We will crash and we will completely burn, because we're going to see the population of America increase. We're going to see the debt increase. And what do you do at the end of the day? Like, how do you pay off that debt? You don't. So what Donald Trump's decided to do is, I'm going to make the rest of the world pay America. And we're going to quit like taking care of the whole world and bring some common sense back into government. And that's going to produce a lot of short-term pain. Yes, you're going to have to pay more for milk at the grocery store. Yes, you're going to have to pay more for goods and services. But we're spoiled, right? We're spoiled Americans. We don't want to hear that. We want to hear that everything's going to be great and like nothing's going to happen and like we can just keep doing what we're doing. But we can't. We can't keep doing what we're doing. And I'll make more videos later about what you should be doing, what I think you should be doing, what I'm doing. I'm not selling my crypto. As a matter of fact, this is a perfectly good opportunity to buy more, in my opinion, XRP. I think XRP is the wave of the future. Now, you do your own research and you come up with what you think, but I love the utility of XRP. Why? Because everybody's gravitating towards XRP because it has the capability of doing cross-border payments. Even, like if you look at BRICS, 80% of Japanese banks are now using XRP's utility. BRICS, which is made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and Saudi Arabia. Singapore now has said, we'll take the United Kingdom. Even the central bank will take XRP and use it for cross-border payments. It has to, because the old SWIFT system is outdated, and it really is. And XRP can convert money within about 3 seconds. That's right. It can. So that's what I'm doing. I'm buying the dip of XRP, knowing that XRP will definitely bounce back. And there's a lot more I could say about this. But if you're a believer, you understand that all of these things have to take place for there to be a transfer of wealth from the wicked to the righteous. And that's what's going to happen. Like, we're really, after all this is said and done. And by the way, I mean, talk about the housing market. Because the housing market is really going to get hurt in the next couple of months. Why? Because people who own property have taken advantage of the middle class. They have. I mean, how much are you paying for rent right now? A lot more than you were 8 years ago. This has nothing to do with Republicans. This has nothing to do with Democrats. Trump's trying to figure out a way to seal the deal on this. And by the way, guess where all Trump's money's going in? And you can go look and see where the Liberty Fund is spending their money. They're spending it on crypto. Because why? Because digital currency is the wave of the future. And what are you going to see this morning? Well, when the market opens, you're going to see a lot of people flood in there and get as much money out as they can. And that's why the next couple of days are really going to be interesting at the least. I'll make more videos about it later as the day progresses, but the main thing that we've got to do is we've got to pray, and we've got to ask the Lord to calm us, because although these are perilous and trying times and things are going to get interesting, and they are, trust me, they will, we've got to know that our trust isn't in the dollar, the fiat currency that's not backed by gold or silver. Our trust is completely in God. Amen. Hope everybody has a good Monday. I'll make some more videos later. If you have any questions, email me. I'll try to get back to as many people as possible, but I do have a busy day. Love you all. We'll talk again soon.